You're listening to the Industry Alchemist podcast. The definition of alchemy is a seemingly magical process of transformation or creation. This podcast exists to hear the stories of entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders doing just that in their industry. We hear about the journey of the brave souls carving a new path, moving their industry and our lives forward in a seemingly magical way. This episode is brought to you by OfficeChief.com. Office Chief exists to make moving your office easy and painless. Moving an office can be a big hassle. On top of running your company, you're thrown into having to figure out what to do. Hire space planners, furniture companies, movers, IT consultants, the list goes on. It only takes 2 minutes to create a profile, and Office Chief gives you a step-by-step action plan and connects you with the top vendors in your market. Moving your office? Log on to OfficeChief.com and make it easy. I'm your host, Matt Brower, co-founder and managing broker of Column Commercial Partners, helping companies save money on their real estate. I'm also founder and CEO of OfficeChief.com, an online resource for businesses moving their office or updating their space.
Hey guys, welcome to the Industry Alchemist podcast. I'm your host, Matt Brower, and this episode's guest is a great example of turning a passion into a successful business. She's combined her background in psychology with her passion for mindfulness and motherhood. Tara LaRock launched the Mindfulness Mamas app in March of 2020, and right at the beginning of COVID. And the growth has been, they've grown very fast, and it's largely due to grassroots driven efforts. They've seen over 125,000 downloads in over 50 countries and counting just since March 2020. Very excited to hear about that path and kind of what's next for the company. Mindful Mamas is the #1 self-care and mindfulness app for moms and moms-to-be. They're leaders in the maternal wellness. Thank you for being here, Tara LaRock.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Let's start by talking about, this is clearly a passion for you. How did you originally, you came from, a psychology background. I think you work in a school.
Yeah, I was with Denver Public Schools
as a school psychologist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did you decide to, dive into entrepreneurship and carve this new path?
Well, I think I have to go back to when I was little. What was modeled for me growing up. So my dad is actually an entrepreneur and had started several businesses. So I'd always seen him with that just very intuitive, very innovative, very ambitious spirit. And at the time, I think there were parts of that I really admired. And then there were parts of that I rejected because I saw him be so up and down. Like we were feast or famine. Things were going really well or they were not going well at all. Yeah. And so, as a young adult, I remember feeling like I had that entrepreneurial spirit. I was always inventing things or dreaming up ideas or wanting to learn about business, but I really shied away from it. And I remember being 18. I think I graduated from high school, and my dad's like, okay, got to ask you the question, what are you going to do with your life? And he was sort of joking because he came from the school of thought that you don't just do one thing, you do so many different things.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was really neat to be modeled.
That's a switch from what most parents preach, I think.
Yeah. He was ahead of the times, I think.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, Dad, I want a salary. I want a 401k. I want to know exactly what I'm going to be making and how much I can save every single month. So I am going to get a very stable job, probably with the government. And he just started laughing. And I, really held true to that. I got my degree in psychology, and then I went on to get my master's degree in child, family, and school psychology. And I thought I was going to do that forever. And I really liked it. There were parts of me that loved it, and it fulfilled me for many years.
Yeah.
I've always loved working with kids and their families and just really helping to advocate and give voices to children who need that extra support, that need some confidence infused in them that need that just one adult to tell them, you don't have to be like everybody else. Your differences make you brilliant, and let's find a way that helps you thrive and helps you live in your genius.
Yeah.
So that advocacy work was always so much a part of just me in my career and just in my personality. But even then, as a psychologist, I was not thinking about starting a business ever. I was still on the path, like my husband and I had our 20-year plan. We're gonna create wealth through rental properties, and we're just gonna slowly stack and move into one and renovate it, and then move on.
That's
and
the way to do
that
it.
was the plan. And so again, a little bit of the entrepreneur starting to come out, but really staying the course. And it wasn't until I became a mom and I got hit really hard with postpartum depression and obsessive compulsive disorder that I feel like I unraveled to a point where the only way I was going to get through it was to really start to uncover my truth and what I really wanted out of this life, this one beautiful wild life. And it was that spirit, I think, that kind of came back from my dad, that little inkling that was like, okay, you just experienced the battle of your life.
Yeah.
And you're trained in, mindfulness-based stress reduction and coping skills and really helping others learn emotional regulation and communication skills. And you're also, a psychologist that struggled with a mood disorder. Like if you're struggling with something like that, there must be other people out there. And so that's really what led to me starting Mindful Mamas, was just the pain that I experienced during that time, but then also really getting real with what am I going to do next? I didn't see myself working as a school psychologist. I couldn't see past the next week in that role. It was wonderful, and like I said, I'm so grateful to the kids and the families and the teachers that I worked with. But for me, I think experiencing what I did, I knew that I had to listen to that, and I had to go deeper and try to build something that would ensure that no mom walks alone, that no family feels like they don't have the tools that they really need to live a whole, healthy life.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that, first
You're
of all.
welcome.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. I'm hearing that, like, as great as your experience at the schools were, like, you wanted your impact to be much greater than that.
Exactly, yes.
And after having, like, gone through this journey of postpartum depression and obsessive compulsive and everything, you're like, okay, yeah, it's just it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. No, I mean, I love that you brought up the piece of impact, because that's another thing that I don't necessarily think was modeled for me. And even now, as an early entrepreneur, I see, businesses being built towards IPO and like growth at all costs. And, you gotta do the grind, and you gotta keep raising money. You gotta do this. And I think that there is a purpose in that. And that's not to say that you can't build a beautiful business and make a ton of impact along the way.
Yep.
But I think for me, it's really been interesting to try to unpack the different paths that you can take and really make sure that every decision that I make for the business is through that North Star of impact. I know Mindful Mamas exist not to just touch one person's life, even though that is something within our organization that we say every day. If we can help one person, we've done our job. But we really feel like with the tools and the technology that we have today, there's just so much more opportunity to expand, and it's so much more important to me that there are a billion moms that have the access and resource that hopefully we can get to where Mindful Mamas doesn't have a subscription model and women have to pay for it to get all of the offerings. And man, if I could just give it away for free, I totally would.
Yeah.
But right now it does feel really good knowing that we're starting somewhere, and that it's connecting, and that women are out there looking for this. And that is what I'm holding on to. It is still, I'm experiencing a lot of flashbacks because it's quite turbulent. There's a lot of highs and lows. There's a lot of really good days, and there's days where I'm just like, oh man, what did I get myself into? That 401k looks really nice about right now, you know. But I have to just keep holding on to the impact in the why.
Yeah. A friend of mine, that just reminded me, a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine who's also has she's got a small business. She's like in the service industry. She asked me what I do, and I told her, but the way I put it is, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm in commercial real estate, but I have two or three different companies within that space. And she said, God, I hate the word entrepreneur. It just sounds so, can't remember what she said. It sounds so cliche or something like that. I like to tell people, if I'm a business owner, I usually am like, I'm not, instead of entrepreneur, it's oh fuck.
Yeah, you just can't quite put like words to what you're trying to do, or like
or
who
the
you
ups and
are,
downs
how
are
you
so
feel,
intense,
or yeah.
right? Oh my God,
that
I
is
thought that was
so
hilarious.
funny. Yeah,
Because some days are just amazing, and then some days are like, holy shit,
Yeah.
I'm going to not survive this, you know?
maybe entrepreneurship is more of just a sound. And
Yeah,
an emotive feeling that you can kind of like do through interpretive dance or you know, through sounds to kind of capture what it's really like. But I like that friend. Yeah, she sounds like somebody that you can have great chats with about really what it's like when you peel back that curtain a little and see what it's like for the founder and the founding team and all the stakeholders and the families that support them. I mean, I feel like when I started Mindful Mamas, it was not just my dream. It was getting the buy-in from, you know, my husband and my children. I have two that are 5 and under.
Yeah.
We had to think long and hard about what their life was going to look like if I pursued this, and what sacrifices, you know, we would need to make short-term and possibly long-term to be able to, you know, get this to market and get it to the women that need it.
Yeah. Oh my God, so true. And so one thing I want to mention is like your story and the passion you have behind. You're like the poster child for, I don't know if you're familiar with Simon Sinek.
He's my favorite.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I have Leaders Eat Last like sitting right there.
Oh really?
And I've read it now. This is my second time going through it.
Yeah.
My husband and my kids. I think my kids think that you read with pens and highlighters and stickies because that's like what they model when they like. Sometimes we'll check out library books and my daughter will sit on the couch with her stickies and her pens and I'm
Just
like,
mark up the whole book.
Yeah. I'm like, honey, no, we
Cute.
don't own that book. And she's like, but that's how you read, Mommy. And
That's funny.
yeah, I really enjoy the whole series, like everything that he has to offer. Like the book, you know, Start With Your Why.
Exactly. People don't, like, it's no wonder, now I fully understand why you have so many downloads in such a short period of time. Because it's the Simon Sinek thing. People don't buy what you do; they buy why you do it.
Yeah,
Your story is just so.
I hope I emulate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just I always say it's just a privilege, you know. And I like to encourage other people because I know there just isn't one solution. Like Mindful Mamas is one offering, one product, one community, one way of doing motherhood, and there are other voices and other people that have great ideas that can solve the same problem that we've set out to solve and trying to make motherhood feel normal. Like we just want to make sure every mom, whether you're trying to conceive or you just said goodbye to your children for college, that you see yourself within our community and within our app. And I think that it's going to take a whole heck of a lot of other companies, and we're seeing this right now. I mean, we are in a political and societal awakening that finally families matter, moms matter. I mean, look at the childcare crisis that just occurred. Yeah. And so I think Mindful Mamas is very, it's the timing is interesting. It's I don't think I could have timed launching into the pandemic and reaching the moms, you know, while they were at home trying to navigate remote learning and work from home life, and just all of the demands that come into play with just being a caregiver in general, and then multiply that with everything that's happened within the pandemic.
Yeah.
I really do feel like it's going to be interesting to see the companies that have come out of this and come up through this that are really putting family needs first. It's inspiring. It really is.
Yeah, that'll probably, I mean, that goes toward employee recruitment and retention and things like
absolutely.
that. Like offering a full spectrum of helpful benefits for families.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much research that just even shows, for the single employees that are within the organization, they do better when their colleagues who have families are thriving. Everybody thrives. It's an ecosystem. And I think it's just been so fragmented and so segmented for so long. I'm really excited to see what happens, and I know we still have a much
long way to go.
Yeah, a very big mountain ahead of us.
Yeah. So I want to actually get into that, what's next for you. But before that, talk about the grassroots growth that you've experienced so far. Like, how did you literally roll an app out in March of 2020? What happened to have literally people in 50 countries become aware of this? You guys have just a kick-ass digital marketing campaign going on, or
oh man,
or what?
I feel like it's just it's a lot of things. So one is, before I decided to make Mindful Mamas an app, before I decided to go down that route, I was really transparent and public about what I went through becoming a new mom. Because at the time, in 2015, when my daughter was born, returning back to work was really the tipping point for me in my mental health. It was so hard for me to unpack the trauma of the children and the families that I was serving with my own trauma that I was living at home with a colicky baby and a marriage on the rocks, and just, we couldn't get a break.
Yeah.
She cried 3 hours a day. My husband and I were like two ships passing in the night. I would work during the day. He'd work, the graveyard shift. And we just didn't feel like we had that foundation. And I was so confused because I felt like, here I was. I had 10 years of experience in the mental health world. And I had not the slightest clue what was happening to me or what was happening to my husband, which later... I think he felt a lot of relief when we put a term to it. So he was experiencing compassion fatigue, where I was sucking up all of the resources, like emotionally and just mentally and, financially, just trying to navigate what I was going through.
Right.
It was really hard for him to feel like he had space to feel what he was feeling, and was exhausted by the ups and downs of my own mental health. And so it was a really, really rocky time for my family. And I just knew that if I felt like I was going to, at the time, lose my license because I was going to be found out a fraud, as a psychologist, no one would trust me. My colleagues would, disown me. No one would want to listen to me. Families wouldn't like to hear my suggestions for interventions or support. I was convinced I was going to lose my license, and then I was also convinced I was going to lose my daughter because I was not a fit parent in the state of mind that I felt like I was in. Mm-hmm. And so those two things kept me from telling anybody. I didn't tell my husband for 8 months. He could see it because he was living it, but he didn't really know what was going on. He had no clue, who I had become or how to help me navigate it. And so it was really that experience that I don't think I even knew how to talk about it when I was in it. It was more as the fog started lifting, as I hit that rock bottom and I decided that I needed to get help, professional help, therapy, medication. I took a very intense mindfulness class for caregivers. And it was really that practice in the combination of all of those things: diet, nutrition, trying to get better sleep, really understanding my nervous system, working on my marriage. It was just so many things all at once that I felt like I had all this angst and all this energy and I didn't know where to put it. So I started to write about it, and I would publish it on like my small little blog that I built, in the basement by myself late at night, just to get some kind of creativity going. And it was really that started the, I would say, quote unquote, market research that would become Mindful Mamas on how big the problem really is, and that we needed to do something to solve it without really knowing that's what I was doing.
Right.
Because all of a sudden, I'd get emails from a mom in the UK saying, I stumbled on your blog and I took this post to my doctor because this is the first time I've ever heard anybody talk about it the way you have. Or, my daughter has breath holding spells too, which at the time, none of my friends had kids that had a child that had breath holding spells, which if you don't know what they are, they're like this most bizarre tantrum that is not life-threatening, or it apparently, does not harm the child.
Yeah.
But they get so upset, they turn blue and they pass out.
They literally will hold their breath.
They hold their breath until they pass out, and then a lot of times there's muscle convulsions, so that it looks like a seizure.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. So
oh my goodness.
I just remember being like, okay, if I have to put this somewhere, I can't keep holding it, because I tried to hold it for 8 months and look at how much it deteriorated. So many things in my life. So I started to write about it. And I think that's really was one of the things that helped me launch the app. Was I had some women behind me saying, like, I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing. I've learned from you. I've learned from others like you. And I don't think there's anything on the market that's doing what Mindful Mamas, now is doing
right.
At the time. So it was really those women and the support of like my friends and my family saying, yeah, you're not going to be happy until you try something, because I see that now that you've had that experience, there's no way you can lay your head on that pillow at night knowing that you are not dedicating your entire life and your mission and your resources to making sure that by the time my daughter gets to become a mom, if she chooses to do that, or my son starts a family, that it looks different for them than it did for me.
Yeah. Having navigated your way through that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's, I'm sure that was an intense time. Wow.
It was really intense.
I appreciate your vulnerability and sharing,
thank you.
sharing all that.
Yeah, I think
it takes something.
Yeah, sometimes people say you're so brave, and really I think it was just my way of surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Was just, like I said, just not holding it by myself anymore. And I knew if I just surrendered and released it to something, to someone, to the universe, that it didn't have to be mine anymore. And there was so much power in that. And that's a lot of what we teach is really trying to, if you can name it, you can tame it, so to speak. I heard that from one of the greats in mindfulness, and I just loved that because it just made it seem so simple, right? Like we just spend so much of our day so unaware of how we feel, how, like, what's happening
just
in our
bodies. Just going through the grind, doing the actions that are required of us for a check.
Yeah, right?
To put food on the table, right?
Exactly. And I just knew I couldn't keep down that path. So, yeah.
What? So from here, I know you've been forming some incredible, partnerships or advisor relationships in town here. Our mutual good friend Grant Greenwood introduced you and I.
Yeah.
And so very glad that he did.
He's an impact person.
Oh, he is.
You find each other,
incredible.
right? When you can see somebody live so authentically for that purpose and wanting to really help others.
Yeah.
I think that's
it's
why
clear.
Why we were meant to connect.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk about what's from here forward. What is your long-term vision? Well, you've kind of touched on what your long-term vision is, but what are some things you're implementing for the next 1, 3, 5 years to kind of drive through that?
So we are growing from a team of 4
Yeah.
Like probably to a team of 8. We're gonna probably double in the next couple months, which is
Nice.
really exciting.
Congrats.
Thank you. We are rolling out some strategic partnerships. So there's some really wonderful brands that are doing things to support mothers differently, and we're really looking to help each other elevate our missions and to really help co-create some beautiful offerings that are going to be actualized and brought into the market coming this fall. We are really trying to expand our content offerings. So I have an incredible partner. Her name is Karina Devi, and she's our head of mindfulness and the voice of the app. And she was actually the #1 rated voice on the Down Dog app for yoga. So
really?
We got really lucky there because she's just done some incredible voiceover work, but she's just beside her voice, she's just a wealth of knowledge. And I've had to put content production sort of not to the side, but just we've had to push a little bit of a pause on that while we moved through this funding stage that we're in. And so she's chomping at the bit. Like we just discovered a way to get video capabilities on the app, and she's like, "Please let me go. Please let me go. I have like 8 courses I want to roll out."
Oh my God, it's incredible.
It's really fun. And then offerings for the whole family. Like we get dads and partners and moms that want to teach their kids, and we really believe that Mindful Mamas is going to solve for the entire family, but we're starting with the moms because they are a lot of the time the docking station of their family. Like when their kids are dysregulated or upset, they come to mom, and if mom is not feeling good, it's the ripple effects occur, and it's just like the whole family goes down. I feel like I saw it firsthand, and I see it with so many other women that I'm working with. We really teach that oxygen mask theory in the airplane. Like you got to put on your mask first, and then you can take care of everybody.
Yeah.
But you matter, and I think we really need to flip this script of what do you need to buy to be a good mom, or like to be in motherhood, or what do I need to do like for my kids, and really if you take any child and ask them what makes like a good mom, it's like that they play with me, or that they listen to me, or that they read me books, or that they, that I feel safe with them. And in order to create those experiences, I truly believe you have to take care of yourself as much as you would anybody else that you love.
Yeah. What's the most used resource that is on the app?
Sleep.
Okay.
Everybody loves sleep. So we didn't have a ton of data analytics when we first launched. I mean, we were lean and mean, and I just wanted to see if there was something we could put out that moms were interested in. And then we quickly were like, oh, wait, we need to know like what they're doing in the app and like where they're going. And so we had this whole internal vote on what the top mindfulness practice was. And it's called Sleep Like a Mama Bear.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a yoga nidra practice, and I don't know if you know this about yoga nidra, but it's been shown that if you do about a 30-minute session of yoga nidra, it's as you got 2 hours of deep restorative sleep.
No
and
way.
New parents lose like 109 hours of sleep, I want to say like in their first year, like something crazy. And so I think moms are just naturally finding that, not even really knowing that there's all the scientific benefits to the way that we do that sleep meditation.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, they're like, oh, I feel good. And if you look at the app, it cracks us up because that blows everything out of the water is yoga nidra. Who would have thought? So
that's incredible.
We have a lot more sleep support coming into the app in the next couple months, which I'm excited about.
What's your so people are in Google Play or iTunes?
Apple Store, yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Clearly, I'm an Android person.
It's fine. Google
Apple
Play
Store.
or the App Store.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What are they searching? Are they searching Mindful Mamas?
Yeah, Mindful Mamas, MAMAS.
Okay. So yeah, just wanted to make sure to get that in there for the listeners' sake.
Yeah, I know there's so many ways to spell mamas.
Yeah.
And then our UK moms, they're mums, so they're
Oh,
the
that's
mindful
right.
they're the mindful mamas. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, so we've thought a lot about that, and we want to make sure that all spellings are welcome. You can spell mama anyway. You can say it anyway.
Right.
You can find a place, in our community, in our app.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned, I want to transition a little bit here into getting to know you more on a personal level. You already mentioned some books that have been impactful for you, Simon Sinek, a couple others, and your dad inspiring your entrepreneurial spirit. Are there any other people, podcasts, books that have really been helpful to you in your journey?
Yeah, that's so interesting. I feel like lately I've been craving silence. It might sound really bizarre, but
with
I
two little
feel
kids
like,
running
yeah,
around.
with two little kids,
I get it.
and my husband, at home, in the pandemic, for a while, and I think that this is just goes back to the state of my nervous system too, right? Like for a while I wanted all that noise. Like it just felt good to hear a lot of stimulation and be around a lot of people. And I tend to be more extroverted than I am introverted. But I think what I've discovered is I have not had time to just sit and think. Mm-hmm. It's just been a lot of doing, a lot of executing, a lot of negotiating, wants and needs, and how do I take care of my kids while I'm building this business. And so for me, like I said, I just picked back up, the Leaders Eat Last.
Okay.
And in terms of podcasts, I feel like I'll turn it on for about 10 minutes and I'll get a good little nugget. I love the Guy Raz NPR How I Built This.
Oh, that's so good.
I really like that
Yeah.
because I just love to know how businesses started. And,
Totally.
I think they do such a good job of sharing really vulnerably too. But honestly, other than that, I love to just sit in silence and color and be around my kids. My kids give me a lot of inspiration. My 5-year-old, she sees me meditate. I'm very vocal about when I need to take a step away from the family and go center myself, or I invite them to come with me and try it, or I'll just sit down in the middle of the floor
Cool.
and take a couple breaths when we're cooking we're cooking in the kitchen and try to reset. And sometimes it's kind of come back to bite me though, because she'll say, when I'm kind of a grumpy cat, she'll go, "Mom, you need to heditate. You need to go heditate." And I just think that's so perfect, because that's really what it is, right? It's sorting what's in your head and what's in your experience. And
Absolutely. Quieting that monkey brain.
yes,
Monkey mind,
getting that monkey mind to just notice that it's there. And often it's super chatty. That was one misconception I had about mindfulness, is that you had to stop your thoughts. Mm-hmm. There's no way to do that. You have so many thoughts, even in meditation. It's just about learning how to pick which ones you're going to ride and see where they go and go down that rabbit hole with, and which ones you're going to be okay, I see you.
Right.
But I don't have to respond to you. And that was a powerful shift for me when I was learning mindfulness. Yeah.
It's really interesting to visualize observing your thoughts in a meditation too.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's it really helps you realize, wow, you are actually, or we are actually different from our thoughts.
Oh,
right?
yeah, we're not the same.
Exactly. So,
yeah, they're not the end-all, be-all truth tellers. Something that really helped me to kind of sort through thoughts was learning the practice of noting. So, you could be thinking, and you can just note it as oh, I'm thinking. Or you can go a layer deeper and note what kind of thought it is. Are you planning? Writing your to-do list?
Yeah.
Are you dreaming? Are you ruminating? Are you judging? Are you worrying? There's so many different types of thoughts that we have. And for me, that was really powerful to be oh man, I am just in the past constantly. What is up with that? Or, right now, all I want to do is, plan how I'm going to Marie Kondo my closet, and then I, go to, oh, did I forget that at the grocery store? And oh my goodness, I forgot to, sign my daughter up for rock climbing camp. And when you can notice that and the types of thoughts you're having, it's really powerful to be like, why, and you don't even have to uncover the why. Just noting it is so powerful.
Exactly. Yeah. It kind of gets it out of the monkey mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you've built an app and you're expanding on it. So what is your favorite technology that you use on a regular basis?
That is a really good question. Probably my Roku, Netflix.
Uh-huh.
But in terms of like my actual phone,
and it doesn't have to be a phone. It could be
I know. I was just gonna say this is gonna expose me because I'm obsessed with the weather app. I love looking at weather all over the world. I'm like, oh, it's so it's so hot in Denver. What's it like in Hawaii right now? Or
right.
What's it like in Ireland?
You're dreaming for that next
trip.
trip.
I'm totally dreaming for that next trip. Technology wise, yeah, I feel like it's FaceTime to talk to my family. It's Netflix, because who doesn't love that, especially when I need a small break from my children or at the end of the night. And then it's my weather app, trying to plan on trying to plan on
That's
where I'm
one I
going to
hadn't
go.
heard yet. That's cool. That's great. And then last question is, what would you consider to be your superpower?
My superpower. It's probably been getting comfortable with being brutally honest with myself and with others. So sharing my experiences, even if it causes feelings of guilt or shame, or that there's going to be some perceived judgment, doing it anyway, because I know through my experiences that, when you're vulnerable, you're more able. Like, I think that, the word abilities and vulnerability, like, it gives you the ability to connect with other people and to get your needs met and get your voice heard.
Yeah.
And I also know that there's a privilege with that, being a white woman. I have more opportunities for that without consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I am still learning and unlearning how to unpack and how to amplify and encourage and in a safe and supportive manner for everybody to get that opportunity if that's what they feel that they want to do. Yeah.
Complete unapologetic vulnerability, authenticity.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, even in business, like, I don't give two craps if I ask a quote unquote stupid question about a performa or like EBITDA. I didn't even know what that was, when it began. Or like, can you please teach me? You keep saying that this is important, but I really don't know what you mean. Like, sit down. But even on the technology side, I'm like, okay, so the technical stack, let's run through this again. This API connects to this, and the database, and we run on this. Like, I just stopped caring about that, because it's really what connects us is being imperfect.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, a really powerful thing to realize, here are the things I'm great at or that I love doing, and then here's the stack of things that I'm terrible at or know nothing about or I hate doing. And there are people that we could surround ourselves with that are great at those things.
Love those things.
Yeah, it's like that's, I think, a very, very big trait of a great leader, to be able to like harness, embrace that fact, because it's a fact for all of us, right?
Yeah, no.
So that's cool that you've
I had to drop
that.
Oh, I got this, because there are definitely things that I don't got this, like, or times that I don't got this. I was actually laughing with one of the Mindful Mamas investors and advisor who's just been so wonderful. And I told him, I said, I don't want to be ever the smartest person in the room or on my team. Like, there are so many more people that are way more educated or way more skilled or way more talented or inspired by doing this, and he just started giggling. He's like, that's the difference between you and I, because I often always assume that I'm the smartest one in the room.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's probably why, you're going to be way more successful than I am. And it just made me laugh.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great getting to know you better.
Thank you.
Again, I want to thank you for your vulnerability and for sharing so freely. Super excited about what you've already built and the additional features you're implementing and the growth that you guys are going to achieve over the next couple of years. Wow.
Thank you.
Can't wait to watch this.
Thank you so much. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for having me, and I really appreciated being here. It's
Yeah.
been so nice.
And before I forget, so the app, people can search Mindful Mamas. Is there a website that they can go to as well?
Yeah, we also have www.mindfulmamasclub.com.
Okay. Perfect. And then that's the best way for people to get in touch with you.
Yeah. Download the app, and then one thing that we do is we will email you every single day. Everybody on the team takes a turn, and we talk to our community every single day, because we always say that our mamas are our boss.
Yeah.
And if we're not listening to them, and we're not talking to them, and we're not building that implicit trust with them, then what is the point of all of this? And
Right.
so if you download the app, you will be hearing from me. Probably within hours of you downloading
Just
the app.
like with tidbits of
We just
helpful
share.
information.
We share our struggles. We're all in different life stages in the company, and we just talk about real life things that happened the night before, or we'll give you a little nugget on self-care, or we'll talk about a community member and their triumphs, or things that they're struggling with, or things that they shared with us when we have their permission. We share out resources and other companies doing really cool things, and sometimes it's just a line like, "Hey mama, you matter. Just wanted to
Right.
remind you of that." That's it. We started doing that this spring, and it's been so soulful and so connected. I love that I get to spend an hour of my day every day talking to the moms that reply back to my daily email.
I love
it's
it.
the best.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
So cool.
Yeah. And then I look up on the weather app where they're from, and
Right.
dream about going to visit them one day. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again. Enjoyed the conversation,
Thank you.
and look forward to staying in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.